If you happen to have some beer or soda cans in your recycling bin, don't throw them away because we're going to make something really cool with them today. Hi everyone, it's Dragana at Saacibo. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you something that I've learned how to create about 30 years ago. And it's not only pretty, but it's also useful. We're going to need some recycled soda cans. If you have some wine cork, that would be useful. You can also buy cork in these sheets like I have here. If you happen to have some craft foam, in my country it's available in craft shops and equivalent of dollar stores in the US. You will also need some cotton rope or thread. This is the thinnest I would go. I wouldn't go any thinner than this. It looks like 2 or 3 millimeters. Thinner shoelaces would work too. You will need some cooking oil, any vegetable or seed oil, and of course some plain water. And this is what we're going to be making. These gorgeous floating flowers that burn like oil candles. This week's freebie is a template of nesting flowers, 3 different types. We are going to use it today for our project. They are on my website, free for you to download. No need to register or leave your details. I do not ask for anything in return. To get to the images, turn off all the ads, click on the picture and download it. If by mistake you click on any of the ads and they take you elsewhere, please don't provide your details to anyone. What I love about this project is that you don't need any special tools or equipment. You can totally do this just with scissors, a knife, an awl, something to punch a hole in the metal. If, however, you have this machine, which is Sizzix die cutting machine, you can use it. These were created just with scissors. And for example, this one was done using Sizzix. I have to say I had so much more fun creating these two than that one. There's something meditational about this, and if you want to open these with a can opener, you can. These are things that most households would have, and of course if you're like me, you will need your glasses as a special equipment. I better put them on. All right, so let's just open up one of these. I won't need 2 of them now. I'll just open one. I'm going to use a knife. I tried using a can opener the other day and I squashed the whole thing. I think I'm going to stick with what I've been doing so far. So I basically just cut the top and bottom part off with a knife. And just be careful when you do this. You don't want to cut yourself. Just be mindful. Okay, once I get to about there, I'll just use my scissors. Okay, I'm not going to be using these parts. Okay, so the next part would be to open this up like so. I washed the insides of the can, but there's a little bit of water or moisture still on the inside, so I'm just going to wipe it and I'm going to open it up and just do this to straighten it as much as I can. All right, going to wipe all the liquid. I'm going to use a little bit of tape just on the corners to hold it in place while I'm drawing. It's just easier to work with. Now we need to make the templates. You basically either print this on a piece of cardstock or you print on copy paper and then glue it onto cardstock. It's much easier to trace the design if your template is a little bit thicker than the copy paper. Okay, and I've already done that. I'm not going to do it now in front of the camera. You need the larger templates to cut the foam, and the middle one and the smaller one you need to cut from the can. I'm going to go with this flower, so I'm going to use these 3 templates and I'll put these away. I'm gonna trace around these. I'm gonna use this alcohol marker. I'm just tracing around. By the way, you can trace around from the other side. You don't have to use this shiny side. You can use the side with the text. Depends on what sort of look you're after. I'm just gonna go with the shiny side because I like it. Oops, moved it. Now it's easier to cut if you do this. You don't have to handle the whole thing the whole time. Okay. You can also use protective gloves. I don't. I've been just cutting like this and it's fine. It cuts so easily with scissors. I'm gonna cut on the inside of this because I don't want to see that black. You can also clean with perhaps nail polish remover. I'll just cut that bit off. That's it. And then I'm gonna use this tool just to punch a hole straight through. Okay. I'm gonna do the same with this one. These little lights would also be a gorgeous decor in your craft rooms. Why not? I find them really calming and soothing. You don't have to have a lot of them. You can even have just one in a glass of water or a smaller bowl. You don't have to have the big one like this. What's also great is they just burn on oil. You don't need any wax. Let's punch that in the middle. Good. Now what you can do here is have a bit of fun, like so. You use it like you would use a pencil. If you happen to have one of these scoring tools, you can use them as well. Like so. Just to get a little bit of something happening here. I think it makes them look cuter. All right. Let's do this one. I have this punching tool. Add some little holes just for fun. You can also use that tool to do that, and I'll just go around. And the whole time you're doing this, just be careful of the sharp edges. I mean, they're not that bad, but just be careful anyway. I've made all of these that I've shown you and I didn't cut myself. Hopefully I won't today either. If you decide to do this with kids or your grandkids, just you do the cutting, don't let them. Okay, that's one of the flowers. Now should we do something here with this one. Maybe we can just do this instead of punching. We can just make indentations. You can use pencils, even pens that don't work anymore. They would do the trick. Cool. If you have some of the scalloped scissors, they would be good too, to make little notches like that. If we just make them look perhaps more interesting. Now I'm going to just put my nail here and then fold this, just so they go in that nice round shape, like so. Okay, so that part is ready. I'm going to put that aside. Now I need to cut a larger flower. I'm going to use this craft foam. I'm going to draw from this side, just like that. Let's just cut it. We need a bit of foam because you need something to hold it while it's floating on the water. That would probably just sink through on its own. And these are great if you happen to find yourself in a situation that there's no electricity, there's power outage, you don't have any candles. If you have a few of those and just some cooking oil, you won't have to sit in the dark. All right. Now I also like to add a little bit of cork over here. As you can see, I've been using just a round punch and cutting from this, like so. Or if you don't have that, you can just use regular cork and cut a little bit like that. Just slice it up. Okay, I'm gonna use that one. And you also need to punch a hole there. Good. So we have the basic construction almost. See that top part? That's something that is optional. Over here, this one, that one, and that one have nothing without the extra part on top. But I find that it looks so much better with it. And what you can use there is perhaps one of these things, if you recycle them from these tea lights. Okay, they still have a hole there. You just clean them up a little bit. If there's a little bit of wax left, that's fine. You can reuse these. Okay, just push it in so you make that hole a little bit bigger. Okay, you can also open that one up and create a little flower perhaps. If you've been making candles and you have some of these, okay, do not use them because these candle wicks are saturated with wax and they won't be able to draw the oil. It will burn only for maybe 10 or 20 seconds and then it will stop burning. You need just plain cotton without any wax. I want to show you what else I've been using instead of that. These are all parts of snap buttons. Perhaps you can take them off your old jeans or something like that. Okay, and you basically just use this punch tool and you punch a hole through the middle. Go like this. You have a hole there. Okay, or you can use the recycled one from tea candles, up to you. I'm gonna go for the recycled one. The next important part is this cotton thread. I like to cut a bigger piece and then cut it short if necessary. For this to burn properly, you need to make it oily before you put it inside of your burner. Just going to put a little bit of oil here. I'm going to place it inside. And I'm going to let it soak. Just like that. To push the thread through all these layers, I find the easiest way to do it is just with a piece of wire or perhaps fishing silk. Okay, so just a piece of wire, thin wire, like so. And then I just fold it like that. Okay, and we go in with this end and we leave that. We'll start from the bottom. Okay, you leave that there for now. Then we go through this. Then we go through here. Then through here. And then this part, which is optional, but I think it looks really good. And now the last part would be to put the thread through. Just gonna get some paper towel. Now this is the only part that is a little bit messy, so you put the thread there. Wipe your fingers if they're too oily, and then you just pull. All right, just like that. You don't need the wire anymore. You can reuse it to make another one. Now here you can make a little knot, or you can leave it. If you leave it, that means later on when you want to light it up the second time, you can pull the wick a little bit. On the top, I like to make a little knot. Like so. And you leave here about 1 inch. You can leave longer, you can leave shorter, but I wouldn't go less than that. Okay. And then you just cut the top. It's done. Now let's test it. I'm going to show you how to set up the burner. So you need just water, H2O, just plain tap water, and you fill it approximately 2/3. That has to be wide enough to accommodate your floating candle. And then you take the cooking oil. Any oil that's not too thick is going to work. Sunflower, vegetable, soy. You can use olive oil, but I wouldn't use extra virgin olive oil because it's really dense or thick. Okay, so you just put oil, and the oil is going to float on top. All right, and you need to have at least 1/2 inch of oil, and you can always add more. Once the candles start to flicker, that means they've started to draw water instead of oil. Then you just basically add more oil. As you can see, it's going to come to the top. If you have some essential oils, you can add them too. Just a few drops. I have this orange. Love that smell. All right, I'll just add a little bit more oil on top, just with my finger, just to make it really saturated. And here too. And you just drop it. Yay. Let's test it. Just gonna light it. It's gonna start like this with a little bit of smoke, and then it will get smaller. All right. Floating light is working so well. I'm really happy about it. Great. So have a look at these ones. This is the 3rd day I've been lighting some of these up, that one and these two. And every time I come back, I light them on and they work fine. But this one just doesn't want to work. So I'm going to lift this up. And now I can light it again. Yep. Okay, I want to show you this one as well. The foam part was cut by hand. Then I've used aluminium foil, okay, to cut these easy peasy flowers. And then I used this punch tool for the small flower. Just want to show you how the punch tools work. Okay. Okay. If you decide to make some of these, for example, as gifts to your friends, I would use thread just as it is without dipping it into oil. And I would also write a little card with instructions on how to set up the oil burner and to leave this inside for about an hour or so before lighting it up. I think they're just gorgeous little decorations. I'm not sure what part of the world you're in, but where I am at the moment, it is summer and we love to sit outside after dark and light up a few of these. I just love looking at the open flame. It makes me really calm and happy. Thank you so much for watching. Hope I see you soon in the next one. Bye for now.